All right, scholars, let's take a look at variance powers and financial interrelationship. Variance power really is the right to manage the money, to manage the resources according to your own judgment. You get to decide who gets the money and who doesn't. In the case of an unaffiliated entity, revenue recognition is dependent on the existence or absence of the variance power. You'll notice if you have an unaffiliated relationship and there's a lack of variance power, then in that case, the recipient would debit cash because they got the money. This is, say, a group that's collecting money for the benefit of somebody else, but they don't have any choice on who they give it to. They've already promised to give it back to the university or the sorority or the fraternity, etc. And they would credit refundable advance liability because either they have to give it to the organization or they have to return it. The beneficiary would now debit receivable and they have contribution revenue because ultimately it has to go to them. How about when you're unaffiliated but you're granted variance power? You can decide which fraternity or which university gets it. Well, then the recipient debits cash and credits contribution revenue, and then they have the power. So the beneficiary has no journal entry until they're actually awarded the money. Our next item here, how about if you're affiliated but you lack variance power? So you're affiliated with the university, you're affiliated with the fraternity or sorority, and you don't have any discretion. You got to give it to them. Well, then you debit as the recipient the cash and contribution revenue. Because you're affiliated, notice it's not a liability, it's revenue. And then the beneficiary has interest in recipient's net assets because you have the right to some of that cash, and you call it change in interest in recipient net assets. And then our final one, you're affiliated, but you have the right to determine when and how the entity might get it. In that case, once again, because you have variance power, you as the recipient debit cash and you credit revenue. Once again, because you're affiliated, you do credit revenue. The beneficiary, no journal entry until it's deemed that they're going to receive the money. So that gives you some refresher on some of the items that we're going to be looking at. I hope now that you're ready to try another practice area.